going on, everyone? Welcome to another one of my videos for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And it's been a while since I did one of these videos, and I do apologize for anybody that was looking forward to this, because I know there was a couple people that have been waiting for this all weekend, and I do apologize for not getting it out sooner, but I got a good reason. I got a very good reason. It's just one reason and nothing else, and it is this game right here. That's right. I don't know if any of you have read any of my comments on my previous videos of people that I've conversed with, but I've been crazily playing Ni no Kuni. In case nobody knows what this game is, it just came out for the PS3, and before I get into the rest of the topics that I'm going to talk about for Final Fantasy today, I just want to say to anybody for a simple shout out, if you love JRPGs or like the classic Final Fantasy or anything in that ballpark, go out and buy this game right now if you have a PS3. It's fucking amazing. So awesome. Like, I desperately want to have sex with this game right now. Like, I'm not even joking. It's that good. There's some flaws in it, but if you can overlook those small little flaws, I think you're really going to enjoy this game. It feels a lot like a classic Final Fantasy game. I could sit here for hours and talk about how fucking amazing it is, but that's the reason why I haven't made a video, and I'm really going to try and do my best and get all the topics covered for today, and then I can get straight back to Ni no Kuni, because I'm really addicted to that game right now and enjoying it a lot. So now that we got that thrown out of the way and you understand why I haven't made a video, now you know. Okay, so if you haven't gotten the game yet and you have a PS3, go out and get it. For those of you that do have it, or for some crazy reason don't want to get it, we'll get into the Final Fantasy bit of this. So, alright, now that that's pushed out of the way, we got that aside, we have quite a bit to talk about today. I'm going to try and get through all of it. Hopefully I don't forget anything. I kind of just conjoined all this stuff together in a few minutes over the course of the past weekend. So let's start with the latest stuff that's been going on, and then we'll work our way back from what we missed. Okay, so we're on the lodestone right now, and if we scroll down, you can see that there's the Chocobos Rule the World contest. It's a contest basically around Chocobos, so you could do anything Chocobo related. And I'll pull up the page real quick, and I just want to show you, before I click this link or this tab, I just want to say that you could do drawings, sculptures, any type of work of art to express your love for Chocobos and stuff. So I'm not gonna read the whole box and all that stuff. You guys can check out the link for it and read it for yourselves when this video is uploaded. But now I'm gonna go to the page itself, and here it is. Yeah, some guy that plays the game, his name is Abaddon, I think I'm pronouncing it right. His girlfriend actually made this sculpture of a Chocobo, and it is freaking amazing. Like, I love the Final Fantasy XIV Chocobo. It's probably my favorite Chocobo design out of any of the Final Fantasies. And wow, she just did a great job. Like, I would be surprised if that does not win the contest. Now, here's some other people's art I wanted to show off too, that other community members have done. There's some pretty neat stuff on here too. This one I really like. This looks like the Final Fantasy X Chocobo with a Final Fantasy XIV Elven character, or Elzine, excuse me. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here you can check out. I probably won't have a chance to submit any art because I was thinking about drawing something myself, but I am so into playing Ni no Kuni that I just really don't want to stop playing it for anything right now, except for this video, of course, for good reasons. But some really good artwork on here. These people do a really great job. I'm gonna go through all of it just to give these people a good shout out and show off some of their submissions. This one's pretty cool with the Chocobo in the back. That one's really nice too. Right at the end of the game, Miranda and her Chocobo, they're showing in this drawing that she put together, he or she. So, really cool contest that's going on right now. Love Chocobos, and pretty cool idea for a contest. So, that is that regarding the Chocobos Rule the World contest. Now, the next thing that came up that I didn't cover, since it was up on the 23rd, recording this on the 29th, so it's been quite a few days, as you can tell. But it's a letter from the producer. All of you, I'm sure, have read it by now, but just for people that haven't been keeping up, I'm going to go over and read the whole thing. That's right, the whole thing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it too. So let's not waste any time. Let's get off the lodestone, and let's go straight into the letter. Or actually, oh, I'm sorry. I said I was going to work my way from the latest to the oldest. So before we get to the letter, I just want to go over the thing that came out today. I almost forgot. Glad I reminded myself. We will get to the letter next, though. But first, something even more interesting. And here it is. Wata! The sound of music. Yes, that's right. It's the latest blog. And I think I missed another blog, and I will go over it after this one. 2 blogs. 3 blogs, actually. Wow, I'm falling behind. Anyway, the sound of music. So, Fernhale says, "Hello all, Fernhale's back again for another installment of the developer's blog. Recently I've seen several people on the Lodestone forums express how cool it would be, instead of pics, if I could sneak a few music clips up on the blog as well. So I donned my ninja garb, popped open a bottle of prism powder, and slipped into the shadows of the sound department. Destination Final Fantasy XIV. Sound director Masayoshi Yosoken's studio." Wow, I almost twisted my tongue on that one. Masayoshi Soken. There we go. I got Soken's name right. Sorry, Soken, if I butchered your name. Anyway, Fernhales continues on to say, "But alas, I should have known. Soken detects his prey by sound, not sight. I never stood a chance, and now I'm his prisoner, forced to translate this message. Greetings, Earthlings. I now control the horizontal and the vertical. The developer's blog is mine. And by mine, I mean the personal property of one Masayoshi Soken, Japan's #1 fan of knee socks, aka Knee Soken." It's funny because he's obsessed with knee socks, and I found this out ever since the stage thing that they did a while back. Funny. Anyway, getting on with the story. For those of you following my Twitter feed, that would be all of you, I presume, you may recall a few days back I hypothetically asked that if I were to hypothetically link a few of the hypothetical tracks I was hypothetically working on for Final Fantasy XIV, which ones would you hypothetically want to hear? Well, despite a few naysayers who claimed I didn't have D. Balzac to follow through with my intentions, most of you were psyched about getting the chance to listen to some previously unreleased tracks. And so, I devised this uber complex plan to lure project manager M into my sound lair and bend her to my will. But wouldn't you know it, Fernhales happened to drop by, so I guess this'll have to do. Now that the blog is mine, I can do whatever I want. How about I start by leaking one of the tracks for Limsa Lominsa? Ah. And while I'm at it, how about these 2 tracks for Noscea? Sure, they won't be officially released in-game until the 3rd phase of beta test, but who's gonna stop me? Alright, so that's enough of Soken. Now, I'm gonna actually play this one for you, so I'm gonna read the rest, and I'm gonna let you listen to this at the same time. I'm gonna turn down my volume because I don't want it to be too loud. You guys can, I'm gonna post a link for this in my video, so you guys can check this out also and listen to it over and over again yourself. So I think that's low enough. And here is a mixture of Limsa Lominsa and the new Leonesaurus theme, and I'll talk about it once we're done. Alright, so here we go. There we go. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Now this part kind of reminds me of like Bastok from Final Fantasy XI a little bit. I don't know why. I think it's just like that part. It's really cool. It has like a seaside type like vibe to it. Now I'll wait for the song to finish. I'll get to my feelings after, but I really like it though. Alright, so while that's playing, let's read the rest. The soft breeze off the ocean, the endless blue sky. Ah, what I wouldn't give to escape from this stuffy office and steal away to a place like Limsa Lominsa, where I could fill my lungs with the salty air and listen to the gulls while sipping on a glass fine wine. If I close my eyes, I can almost feel the cool seas spray tickle my skin. That reminds me, the Final Fantasy Vocal Collection goes on sale tomorrow in Japan, and it will contain the full uncut version of Answers sung by the lovely Susan Calloway. That's right, the version you heard in the End of an Era trailer was only half the masterpiece, but now, for the first time ever, the song will be available to the public, outside of limited edition sets sold at private shows, etc. And that means for the first time ever, the lyrics will be unveiled. Mr. Nee Soken Fern here. I posted the lyrics on the Lodestone forums a few months back, so actually, this is technically the second time ever they will be released to the public. Silence! This is my blog, and I will have none of your insolence. I was merely saying that this is one of the first times the lyrics will be released in printed form. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the CD. You can find out more here. But be careful. Before opening the site at work, unless you don't have your boss mind the silky smooth sounds. And I guess that's all. Very well, you can have your blog back for now, but one day I'll return. You won't know when and you won't know where, though it'll be more than likely be here. But my words, you haven't heard the last of Nee Soken. Now we return to your regularly scheduled programming. I love it when a plan comes together. Cue fanfare. Vern Hollis. And that is the latest blog, showing off the theme for Limsa Lominsa and 2 tracks for Noscea. Now I have no idea exactly where they start and end, but they're in there. They're jumbled together. So, pretty awesome. Alright, so now that's the end of the whatchamadoodle. I'll just talk a little bit about Limsa itself and the music. So, I love the new music. I think it sounds wonderful. Really beautiful. Has like this JRPG, seaside type vibe to it. It's really nice. I like it a lot. I do miss the old Limsa theme. I love Limsa a lot. I'm from Limsa. That was my first place since I started playing the game when it launched. It was the first theme for Final Fantasy XIV I ever heard, because I was in the original trailer when I first saw it. And it's composed by Nobuo Uematsu also. So it's a really awesome song, and I do miss it, but I do love this new one by Soken. Soken's really talented. He's a really awesome, I don't know what to describe him, musician or sound guy thing. I really don't know what to label him as. But anyway, I guess you guys can fill me in there. But he does a great job. I love his music, and I love Nobuo Uematsu's also, so I love them both. I am going to miss the old theme. Hopefully it'll still be in the game somewhere, but I always have the soundtrack for it, so it all works out. But anyway, love the theme, think it's great, love Limsa, can't wait to get in beta and hear it. So, let me know what you guys think too. Maybe you guys don't like it, maybe you guys love it more. Who knows? So, sound off in the comments and let everybody know what you guys feel too. Have a discussion about it, have fun with it. So, that's the one that came out today. Alright, so let's move on to our next topic, which is, let's check it out. Devs Mood. This is the one we missed up. This was, I believe, the day before, or yesterday, I think. Yeah, I think this came out 25th. Well, it says the 25th, but those dates are usually wrong half the time. I believe this came out a day or two ago. I don't remember exactly. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, this came out recently. Let's just put it that way, okay? So this is called Devs Mood. So Fern Hollis is here, and he goes, "Good afternoon. Fern Hollis here in one of the Final Fantasy XIV meeting rooms. Taking a break after a long session with P about cutscene dialogue windows, angry Trents, and homemade hot sauce. And well, all that constructive dialogue got me wondering, do we have meetings because we are busy, or are we busy because we have meetings? The answer to this question may elude us for eternity. But with a view like this... Wait, what was I talking about again? Alright, the walls. It's difficult to tell from the picture above, but almost every single wall in the team's workspace, including those in the meeting rooms, are dry erase whiteboards, so people can jot down ideas anywhere and everywhere they like. A kindergartner's dream realized by middle-aged game creators, who, when you think about it, are all still kids at heart. Albeit some mind-bogglingly talented kids. Note, this is a work in progress, and by the evening we'll probably have Dragon Quest slimes I see cats and piles of doggy doo scribbled all over it for an holiday. So let's zoom in here, and there's someone on my last video, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, but he was on my last video, or the one before that, or whichever one, and he was telling me this little hint that I actually did not know, but I'm going to zoom in, and I forgot, I knew how to do this, but I didn't know I could actually do control and the mouse thingy, the mouse wheel, and zoom in, but he reminded me to do this for these segments, so thank you, and you can thank him, because now I can zoom in and show you guys these pictures a little bit better. So this, I have no idea what that is. Like, it looks kind of like something in Limsa Lominsa because of the towers and stuff, but it also kind of looks like Ishgard because of the clouds that are up where this big towery castle-like thing is. But to be honest with you, I know it's not either of them because, well, being from Limsa, unless they change it, I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe it is Limsa, I don't know. It could be somewhere entirely new. It's not complete enough for me to give a definite answer, but it definitely reminds me of Limsa or Ishgard because of the shape of it, but it could be somewhere new. I don't know, maybe you guys know. So, it definitely doesn't look 100% like the original Limsa, I can say that much, but it has changed dramatically from what I've seen in the trailer and some of the art, so who knows, but it looks pretty cool. So that's the, whatever to look forward to. And there's Yoshi P right there. Yeah, some boxes over there, whatever the hell that's about. But yeah, this is apparently square-enix is somewhere over here. I don't know if it's that big building. It's somewhere where they work. And then here's their offices, so you get a nice zoomed in good look at them. Alright, zooming back out. So that's the end of that one. And then all the other blocks you guys already seen me go through already. So let's knock that one out of the way and go straight to the letter. Letter from the producer from January 23rd, 2013. Okay. Now this one is a pretty lengthy one, so man, I wish I brought a bottle of water because I'm probably going to be like dry completely in my voice by the time I'm done with this. So, okay, deep breaths. Here we go. You guys ready? All right. This is it. Here we go. Letter from the producer. Hello again to all of you eagerly awaiting Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. Yoshi P here, ringing in the new year with a 41st letter from the producer. We've been back in the office for almost 3 weeks now, and our calendars are already marked full of meetings and deadlines. It won't be long before beta testing begins, and soon after that the release of Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. Looking at the beta test roadmap we released last month, the road from beta to release will appear to be a long one, but the testing will be over before you know it. There's not a moment to spare in preparation for release, and the development team will stay at full throttle to make sure we get there. First things first, let's talk a bit about the beta test. Phase 1 will begin in February, and we were thrilled to see so many players from around the world signing up to participate. I know the beta test is just around the corner, but I'd like to show you guys a few screenshots to tide you over until then. Here's the title screen, new and improved with the beta version tag. The BGM has changed as well, another little tidbit to look forward to. So there you can see the, I'm going to zoom in for you guys. Here you can see the Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn beta version screen. And the alpha one looked a lot like this, but of course it said alpha on it. But yeah, beta version screen right there. And they tweaked the theme because some people were saying it's too loud, I guess, or they didn't like it too much. It was like chanting. So interested to see how they tweaked that. Anyway, here we go on to our first screenshot. Starting from Phase 1, all races will be available for testing. So it's time to roll call. First up is the Here Midlander female. She looks pretty, well, she looks pretty much the same as they did in the original, but she does look a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, a lot more polished. So if anyone's fans of the Hures like I am, and the females of your species, you'll be glad to be playing as them again, or playing as one for your first time, depending on, you know, your experiences and who you are. So that's the Hero female. Now we go on to the hotter one. This one I'm fucking liking a lot. The Hero Highlander female's also front and center, looking strong and sexy. And damn, dude, holy shit. That is a hot-ass looking character model, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I originally wanted to become a female Hero Midlander when I played the beta. I actually played as a female Hero, and by the time I got the real game, I decided to go male Hero like you've seen all my videos, because I like putting myself in virtual form in the game instead of being like something completely different. if I have alternate characters, I like being something different. Like a female, in this case, for certain reasons, I guess. I don't know, it sounds kind of weird. But, holy shit. Fucking awesome. I love the female here. She looks amazing. Like, a lot of people thought she was going to be like this big, like, freaking brute chick. Like, oh my god, I'm coming around. Look at my tits. Like, we all thought she was going to look like one of those big muscly type Highlander males. But she actually looks pretty freaking good. So I'm really happy with the mature looking character model opposed to the more young and anime-ish looking sweetie female here type. Yeah, so I love them both, but I definitely starting to side more with the female Highlander, so that's freaking awesome. And I did notice that they both share the same starting gear, so that's also an interesting thing to point out too. So anyway, let's move on. Next up is the LZ male smartly sporting race-specific gear. So that's my buddy Neo and a couple of my other friends. Silvarian, who were in my link shell for on my server in 14, they're male Elazine, so they get to see a little bit of a glimpse of how their character model is going to look like in A Realm Reborn. And can't really see too good from that angle, but let's just say this: they look really good in game. So you're gonna be happy with the Elazines, how they look in this. They look pretty cool. Now we go on to the Lalafels. This one's a fan favorite. The Lalafel looking adorable as always, but don't count them out in PvP. That's right. Little fun fact because of the PvP thing they threw in there. Yoshi P actually said that if he would play as one race in the game, he would pick Lalafel, and he loves PvP, so he would pick Lalafel in PvP because you're shorter, so they would have like an advantage or something. Not that would actually work in the 14's combat system, but I think he was just joking around. But he would go Lalafel in PvP if he had the choice. But he is the Wandering Minstrel, so I guess he can't pick and choose everything, but just throwing that out there for anybody that didn't know that. Okay, so here we go on to the male Miqo'te. The Miqo'te makes his long-awaited debut, fueling fan desires for a new project, Miqo'te Online. So yeah, the male Miqo'te look freaking awesome in this game. They look really, really good. I would not be surprised if I saw like at least one person try and do a Zidane tribal from Final Fantasy IX. Just give him like a blondish type dirty blonde hair and a yellow tail, and bam, you got Zidane right there. So, or whatever colors that he had for his hair. But yeah, that'd be cool if they had a Zidane type hairstyle for the male Miqo'te. That'd be pretty cool. Of course, Zidane didn't have cat ears, but definitely had the cat tail or monkey tail he was rocking out, so that would be really neat if anybody wants to try and recreate their favorite Final Fantasy character. And last but not least, we move on to the female Rogadin, Megatits. Last but certainly not least is a Rogadin female, with strength matched only by her beauty. Yeah, some of the Rogadins I've been seeing them put out in the promotional work haven't been really, I don't know how to put it. They haven't been really hot, let's just say that way. Their character models look pretty good. Their bodies look good for people that are into that kind of thing. But they're no Merlwyb Blowfish one, I'll put it that way. Merlwyb is fucking hot. I'll throw that out there. She is a pretty badass rogue. So hopefully you can make a character looking more like her. But she's not that bad looking. The last one I saw kind of looked like a Butch Cassidy or some shit. But anyway, let's get on to this awesome screenshot, which is Ifrit. That's right. You are looking at Ifrit for the first time, as he will appear, identically so, as he did before, in A Realm Reborn. So, you can see a paladin right there. It looks like a Lalafell wearing, I guess, some type of helmet or coif. Maybe he's wearing paladin armor also. I can't really tell. It's kind of hard to see. It looks kind of yellowish, so I don't know if it's monk. Who knows? But it definitely looks like a Lalafell. And you can see on the far right, it's a warrior Rogadin, and they're all around Ifrit, so that's what you can expect to the beta test, or not the beta test, I'm sorry, the benchmark test to look like. They'll have that scene in there, whatever the hell that's from. I don't know if that's like a still image, that's like a 3D rotation, or if it's an actual cutscene or battle segment that they put together exclusively for the beta test. That would be pretty neat. So, it says, with all these screenshots, it'd be a shame not to include one of the benchmark. We're still putting the finishing touches on it, so pay no mind to the score. Alright, so guys got that to look forward to. Let's zoom in a little bit just so we can see a little bit better. Huh. Well, definitely in Thanaland, that's for sure, because that's where Ifrit's from. I still can't tell what the hell that is down there, like in the center. It definitely looks like a Lalafell. It's like starting to bug me now. I'm trying to figure it out. It's so blurry. Well, anyway, I don't want to get you guys hung up on that, but let's go on to the next one. Although all races will be available from Phase 1 of the beta test, not all customization options will be available. We're putting a lot of work into various options such as hairstyles and colors. A whopping 192 shades are being planned. Holy shit. Based on feedback from the alpha test, and everything should be ready by Phase 3. We wasted no time getting back to work after the New Year's holiday. But you know how we like to start off the new year, with good old Hatsumode. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just going to say Hatsumode is how you say it for now. Sorry if anyone's Japanese out there and I'm butchering that. We broke away from the development floor just long enough to round up the team for our annual trip to Senzoji in Asakusa, with the launch of A Realm Reborn to take place this year. With the trip was all more meaningful. Here's to a game that fans around the world can enjoy. Yes, I really did drop that big bill in there. The next part is a little tricky, so a bit of an explanation is in order for those who've never visited one of these temples. When drawing an omikuji, strips of paper with fortunes written on them, at Asakusa's Senzoji, there are 7 possible fortunes: Great Blessing, Blessing, Half Blessing, Small Blessing, Future Small Blessing, Future Blessing, and Curse. To the dismay of visitors in Senzoji, the chance of drawing Curse is a whopping 30%. 3 out of every 10 people, those unfortunate enough to draw Curse, better bear down hard all year long or suffer the consequences. Now then, which fortune do you think I drew? Yoshi P. Great Blessing, of course. Wouldn't you expect anything less from? What? It looks like I'm holding up more than one, you say. Okay, you got me. I didn't draw the Great Blessing. It belongs to Project Manager M, who's in charge of the developers blog. But no need to worry, I still managed to draw a Small Blessing. The fortune itself was very encouraging, so much so that I'd like to share it with you guys. Much like the treasure seen across the veil, the things you desire, no matter how close they seem, are not easily obtained. Interesting. Do not let your heart falter. Patience is the key to reaching your goals. Oh, that's true. Stay focused and consistent in your work. When the time is right, the things you desire will be at hand. Wise words. Remember that you are not alone in your endeavors. Like the phoenix taking flight, you will rise up and find success. Cool. Not half bad of a blessing you got there. It's telling them to work hard. You're not out of the clear yet, so you know, keep working hard, keep striving, hold that determination, and you know, hopefully you'll pull through. I think you will, but you never know. Hope for the best, expect the worst, and keep on praying. So that's all you can really do. Keep working hard. In short, if we keep working tirelessly as we've done so far, without getting hung up on profits or discouraged by the workload, A Realm Reborn is bound to succeed. With ongoing support of our fans, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn will rise up from the ashes like a phoenix and soar towards success. At least that's my take on it. You guys know me, I'll continue working like a man possessed. LOL. Poor Komoto drew another curse this year. I know the chance of drawing it is 3 out of every 10 people, but one can only be so unlucky. I'm sure next year will be better. Maybe. If anybody's wondering who this guy is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this was the original producer of the game, either the director or the producer. I think Tanaka was the original producer, and this guy was the original director of Final Fantasy XIV. And then when they reshuffled the team, he became like an executive producer or an assistant producer, something like that. And then Yoshi P took over as director and producer. So, in case anyone was wondering, that's who Komodo is. I think. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, like I said, but I believe that's the case. He looks like he looks like the guy I remember. So, anyway. Whew. After we returned to working around the clock preparing for beta, 2 very special guests paid us a visit. Jeff Skalski from EA Mythic, who's been a great friend since I joined the Final Fantasy XIV team, and Masana, the current producer of Ultima Online, which celebrates its 15th anniversary this year. Jeff got into the gaming industry as a level designer for Dark Age of Camelot, which I'm a huge fan of, and played to bits and pieces. Yeah, that's right. It's one of Yoshi P's favorite online games. Actually, one of his favorite games of all time, I think. At least in MMO speaking, that's one of his favorite, if not his top favorite. He said he played a lot of PvP in that, put a lot of time into that game. So yeah, he's a big fan of that. He then moved on to Warhammer Online and is now executive producer for the Ultima Online franchise. He's a big fan of the Final Fantasy series, and during our visit to Germany, he wasn't ashamed to tell me how Final Fantasy VI made him cry. LOL. He played quite a bit of Final Fantasy XI as well, and naturally he's attained legacy status for Final Fantasy XIV. Jeff was selected for Phase 3 of alpha testing, and was so excited he filled my inbox with screenshots. Since they were kind enough as to drop by on their trip to Japan, I showed them around the office and gave them a peek behind the scenes, from the development process to the managerial side of things. There was also time to talk shop and compare notes, and over dinner we discussed the future of the MMO market. Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn is taking an unprecedented challenge in the MMO market, and we have not only the support of fans but also that our peers of the industry. Take heart from all this positive energy. We will see the game through to a successful launch and beyond. See you next time on the forums or in the beta test. So that is Yoshi P's 41st letter from the producer. Whew! That is, wow, my throat is like skidding right now, skid marking all over. It's just, wow. Mouthful right there. So, in case anybody, I'm sure everybody's read it before I've done this video, but for anyone that wanted to hear me regurgitate it, or anyone that hasn't been keeping up, there you go. There's the latest letter from the producer. So, we discussed the latest blogs, we discussed the latest letter from the producer on the lodestone, and then we did the Chocobos Rule the World contest we went over briefly. So for anyone that wants to submit anything into there and partake in it, there's your chance. So let's move on to the creme de la creme of the ending part of each of these videos, the forum section. So Rikiri's going to start us off today by talking about personal gathering points. Now, this is for gatherers, miners, fishers, botanists, you name it. So Rikiri says, wanted to provide you all a quick update regarding gathering when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. In A Realm Reborn, once you have exhausted your current gathering target, the location will disappear and a different point will appear elsewhere. Since gathering points are specific to each adventurer, you won't have to worry about another player gathering from the same point, as was the case in version 1.0. So that's pretty cool for gatherers. So in 1.0, what we had to do, mostly miners, because everyone was always on miner, you would all like go to a certain area where you can mine. And like most people would be on grade 5s mining for electrum or what was it, gold and mithril, stuff like that to sell and craft. And so anyway, everyone would be gathered on one point because everyone can see the same points. And there'd be like 3 or 4 points in close proximity that would alternate. And everyone would they would type in they would click their button, they would tell them where to go, they'd find it on the map, and then everyone just gathered on the same node. What Rikiri's saying is, each node is specific to your character. So if you see a node, only you can go to that node and you can mine it. Now, maybe other people will go to it too, but not everyone can see it. So you won't have everybody piled on top of each other and look like a clusterfuck on a wall or a tree or whatever. So that's that for gatherers. Alright, let's go to the next one. Oh, this one's about... Someone asked about Rikiri, I guess. What the meaning of her name was. I suppose. I don't know. Well, you guys can read it up, so... Anyway, kind of confused about how this whole post started or what it's directed at, but Rikiri comes in to explain her name in case anyone wonders what, Rikiri derived from. She goes, my rep name is a play of letters with my favorite female Final Fantasy character, Riku, from Final Fantasy X she's talking about. I switched around the U and the I, and then added the Ri to it because it sounded fancy, thus Rukiri was born, pronounced Rukiri. So, if anyone was wondering about the Got Rikiri rep. There you go. Rikiri's awesome. Alright. This one is about retainer level. Okay. So, retainer level. Rikiri comes by again, and she's on a roll. She goes, I have a small update regarding retainer levels to share with you. Based on the feedback we collected in the past, the dev team is looking to implement different features for your retainer as they level up. For example, we are looking into allowing retainers to perform chores, such as gathering. As soon as we receive detailed information on the leveling up your friendly caretakers and the tasks that they will be able to perform at certain levels, we will be sure to let you know. Okay, so for anybody that has not played the game or is not familiar with the game or played very little of it to understand what the purpose of retainers are, and people that do know, bear with me for a sec here. Retainers are basically a person you hire to sell your goods. You hire them for free, right? And you can have 2 total. I don't know how it's going to be in A Realm Reborn, but in the original 14, you hire 2. Or 1. It's up to your choice, but 2 is the max. And you pull them up, and they act as like an inventory. So you can put all your items on them, and you can also tell them to sell it. So if you go to the market wards and you put them in there, they'll sit up there 24/7 and they'll sell your goods, even when you're offline. So in the original 14, they had numbers on them, and people wonder like, what the fuck are these numbers? Like, what do they mean? And they never did anything. They never meant anything. Nobody ever got to them because the game was in such shambles that all this stuff that they had planned and the reshuffling of the team and whatnot, it just got thrown up in the air. And some of it fell down while others were caught. So the retainer levels were always wondering like what the hell they meant. So what they have planned for them now is basically, I guess as your retainers sell stuff, the more they sell, and keep track of your records of, you know, your income, your outcome, things you've sold and bought, they'll level up. And what you can tell them to do is, you can tell them to gather items for you while you're offline or doing a raid with your friends or your link shell. You can tell them to possibly even craft stuff for you. Do all sorts of little menial tasks that might be considered tedious for some people, which in my experience they are, because they are time consuming, but they are much, much faster in A Realm Reborn, so they're nowhere near as fucking tedious or bad. But still, in case you have to go on a vacation, or if you have like an event with your link shell, you're playing with your buddy and you don't have time to mess with your retainer, you can tell them to do stuff, and as they level up they can do more cool things and probably do more of those cool things. So that's really neat to look forward to. I like that a lot. I think that's a really good idea, and I even heard rumors of maybe them even fighting for you. I don't know, but I did hear rumors, well, not rumors, but whether regardless or not, if they do end up fighting for you or being your companion at some point, there will be human companions or any of the 5 race companions that you can choose from to fight alongside you, sort of like your Chocobo. But that's coming in the far future, so just throwing that out there. Alright, here is the next one, and it is nighttime. Oh, it's this one again. This is we've seen this thread before. So Rikiri comes in and says, we spoke with the writer of the developer's blog, and she told us that she'll do her best to try and get a pic showing just how pretty the stars are at night. So while we're not sure if we'll be doing a video just yet, we'll keep you in the loop. Also, for those of you asking about weather in the beta test, we can say that there will be clear and cloudy weather implemented. We'll let you know when we have more info to share. Alright, well that's pretty cool. So, you guys have that to look forward to in beta. You have cloudy and clear weather. Raining and snowy and all that good stuff will probably be in the retail release, but they said they'll keep us posted in case anything changes or whatnot. So, yep, that is that one. And here's Bayani. We got a first Bayani post of the night. This is NA European Japanese server, no transfer. Okay, so Mikoto says, here's something I read on the French forum. It's not a question about lag, but economy. Your server turned Europe and you're NA. Then so sorry you're stuck with that. Wow, that sounds like improper grammar. Our goal with the implementation of dedicated servers for new players is to create a world where the economy has no history. Therefore, legacy players will not receive an option to transfer their characters from version 1 to these servers from the release of Final Fantasy XIV: Realm Reborn. New players will be able to create new characters on the servers of players' legacy. What the fuck? This is like really. This feels like a Google Translate or something. New players will be able to create new characters on servers of legacy players. Oh my god, this is really difficult to read. It's not worded properly. This option has been This option will be available as long as the maximum server population will not be reached. Similarly, the player's legacy will create new character on dedicated server of new players. We're not able to confirm what stage during beta your characters will be permanently associated with the servers which you're on. We will share information once you're scheduled. Okay, so let's get to Leone's part, and then I'll explain this, because that was kind of difficult for me to read, and I don't know if anybody else struggled with that, but it was worded kind of weird, so I'll explain in a sec. So Leone comes in, he says, the portion you quoted is specifically referring to the fresh new player servers that we plan to introduce, that only fresh starting new characters will be able to join, whether that's a completely new player or a brand new character of a returning player. And this restriction will be in place for a specific period of time, not yet finalized. It goes on to say that new players will be able to join existing established worlds as long as there is room on the world, but that old returning players cannot move to their brand new players' worlds. Hopefully that clears it up. Okay, that was a lot to say. Now let me just do the fucking short version. Basically what this whole thing is going on about, in case anybody is having a mind fuck right now, when the game launches, there's going to be the existing servers from the end of Final Fantasy XIV. That means Sargatanas, I think that was one, I don't know. Riddle is my server, in case anyone's wondering. Riddle, Durandale, whatever the fuck those other servers are called. Masamune, I think, is one of them. I don't know if that was the new or the old, but anyway, all those servers are staying. However, there's going to be new servers too. New servers for PC people, so there's more room for them, and new servers for PS3 people too. Now, hold on a second. That's not to say they're segregated, because they are not. This is what they mean. With these new servers, players that have not played the game, that means if you're watching this video and you have never played Final Fantasy XIV before in your life, or if you played it but not very much, and you plan on starting a new character, you can start on these new servers. However, this is where the slight segregation comes in. Legacy players cannot go on them, and here's why. There are servers where anybody can go on them, of player's choice. There are pre-existing servers where Legacy and current Final Fantasy XIV players reside on, which new players can play on as long as there's room. And then there's the new servers that are only for new players only. The reason why they did this is because if they have a bunch of people, let's come up with a hypothetical scenario. Let's say that World A is a brand new world, a new beginning, and a bunch of PS3 and PC players jump on it for their first time, creating new characters and exploring the world. Let's say one person from my server, who's a Legacy member, goes over there. Let's say he wants to set up shop. Let's say he has a freaking billion gil, okay? He has a billion gil, he's rich as fuck, he's got everything maxed out. He can take full advantage of the market wars, the whole market system. He can control it for at least months on end until people get up to 50 and max everything out, which will take quite a bit of time, mind you. So, with that in mind, you have to consider this. If there's a player there that has everything in the game practically already, surrounded by a bunch of newbies that don't have anything, there's positive aspects to it, but there's also negative repercussions as well. So if you take that one person, imagine how he could, like, manipulate the market system and players around him. And also the experience of new players being able to, well, jump into a fresh start instead of having a bunch of players that have been playing the game for the past 2 years. You could see the problems there. So I see perfectly why they're doing that. Now, they said that it's not going to be permanent. They're just going to do it for a while, like the first few months maybe, and see how things roll out. So, I can see the reasoning behind that, but that's not to say they can't all play together. There's servers for only new people that if they want a brand new fresh start without any taints of the past, or there's other servers that both PS3 and PC newcomers and old players can all exist on. So choice is up to you guys, and that's just what Bayone's saying. Alright, so let's move on to our next one. Alright, Okipweet's here, and he is talking about... Thank you for an MMO with deep lore. Ah, lore. I love lore. Let's get right down to it. So, Okipweet comes in here. Oh, first Jason's here, and he says, there's plenty of lore explanations in-game, but most notably was Professor Eric, who explained more history as you proceed in the Monk Quest line, which is true. The biggest lore bomb when the jobs came out was the reveal that the dragon in the opening cinematic was actually Midgardsormr. So Okipweet replies with, we will be continuing that tradition on the Realm Reborn. As I'm sure you've seen Fern Holly's post about often, the dev team will be working hard to include lots of juicy lore, along with quests that players tackle in the Realm Reborn. In addition, the team will be implementing other aspects to help adventurers get a better feel of the world they inhabit, such as NPCs that offer up info on specific locales. So that is freaking awesome. I love the lore in this game. I fucking love it to bits. It's great. Lore is awesome in 14, so that is really, really cool. Alright, here is one about 2.0 character creation option, left-handed. Now, this one's not much, but it's a little bit for any Southpaws out there that want have their character left-handed. Rikiri says there are currently no plans to add a left-handed option for player characters, but we made sure to pass along all of the feedback here to the dev team. So anybody that's interested in that little type of, little touch, you can check out this post for all that stuff, and I have no idea what the fuck that is. So, next post is enemy sign functionality. I think I covered this one already. Let me just double check if I've seen this one already. For those asking specifically about limiting the ability to place signs by the leader, our plan is to start out with this limitation in place. The main reason being that there is a concern that parties might get confused if signs are placed randomly on multiple enemies. However, we're considering opening this up to other members, but would like to base this decision off the feedback after you try it out. So this, I actually brought up this same forum topic in the past. Now, Rikiri came back again to just reconfirm that they're keeping our suggestions in mind. So they're keeping an open mind. They're going to let the dev team know what we think. Me personally, I like some people were also saying this, is that the idea of the leader has the ability to put all the signs on anything he wants. So party leader has full control. Also, let's say you're in a party with like two of your friends, your friend's friend, and a random player. Let's say you want to just give your two friends the ability to place marks on monsters and stuff, and not the other two people. It would be cool if you can actually assign privileges to certain members in your party to say, okay, these two guys are able to put signs on mobs. You two guys cannot, so follow them and me. That would be pretty cool. So hopefully they consider an option in the UI interface to figure out how to do that exactly. That would be pretty cool. So a lot of people have been saying that's a good idea, and to consider that. So that would be my suggestion to you guys. So look through the post. I'm going to link this thread. You guys can read them yourself and absorb what they're all saying and what they're all discussing and all their ideas. So that's that thread for sign functionality for enemies. Our second last post of the night is Arcanist question, which he spelled Arcanist wrong. There's no H in Arcanist, for anybody that's wondering. Wow, that's I'm liking that guy's post. That's pretty funny. Anyway, let's find Rikiri. Wow, she's doing a lot of posts. She's on fire tonight. Rikiri says, just wanted to pop in and answer the question about unlocking Arcanist. You won't need to fulfill any requirements in order to play, in order to be able to play as Arcanist. So I'm guessing that if you're new to 14 and you want to play in Limsa Lominsa, you can pick Arcanist or Marauder. So Arcanist will be there from the get-go to play as a starting class in the new game. You won't have to unlock it. You won't have to reach a certain level. It's just right there from your smack from the get-go. I don't know how it's going to work for pre-existing users, but I'm sure Yoshi P and his team has everything all worked out. So yeah, that's for Arcanist people, if anyone was wondering. Love Arcanist. Can't wait to play as that. So our last post for tonight is yet again by the awesome Coral Cat Rukiri. And this one is regarding, please tell us what we sold. Now this is about retainers again. And I hinted to this earlier when we were talking about the retainer thing in the one of the first threads. Figured I'd drop in... Oh, whoa, hold on, what the hell? I just saw Rokiri's thing down here too. Oh shit, there's Kamate's post also. So let's read Kamate's first. Okay, so Kamate says, figured I'd drop in to give some information about retainers that was being discussed on the Japanese forum. I feel like all I do is necro bump threads. Before 2.0, can you make it possible for retainers to tell us the goods we sold and for how much when we speak to them? After 2.0, it would be awesome if you could send sale information in real time to email or something too. Both of these suggestions will be addressed for 2.0. In regards to the latter, it was shown in the 2.0 UI image that we will be making a system so there is a retainer icon at the top of the screen which is displayed constantly, which will let you know when the sale information has been delivered. Additionally, if you select the icon, you will be able to check this information as well. So that is pretty cool. Now Rokiri comes down right over here, and she says... Quite a while back, we mentioned that we were looking into having a feature that would let you know once an item was purchased from your retainer, as well as an icon you could click to confirm which item was purchased. We are planning to implement these features during the beta test in 2 phases. Beta test phase 1, alert feature that lets you know you sold something, and beta test phase 3, a feature that lets you check the purchased item history. The alert feature will make a specific sound when you log into the game if an item was purchased, so that is really fucking cool for people that had a real gripe about the market system when the game first launched. So that is fucking awesome. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this episode. I really don't know what else. I think we've covered everything in this post. Yeah, we got the Chocobos Rule the World contest. Don't forget about that. So if you guys are artists, you guys love Chocobos, you have an active Final Fantasy XIV account, have access to the forums, get your ass in there, do a submission so we could all check it out. And who knows, if you upload something and put it inside the forum post, I'll even put it in the video in the next episode once they have the winners. So keep that in mind. I'll give you a shout out and let us know that you submitted it too if you're watching this video, and we'll root on for you. So that's that. We got the producer's letter that we uncovered, the latest 2 blog entries that we went over. We listened to the new music for Limsa Lominsa in the Leonesaurus region, which sounded fucking great, and we went over all the forum topics. So wow, I guess that's it. I don't know how long this is gonna. I think it's over 30-minute mark or 40-minute mark. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry for for delaying this so long for people that were looking forward to this. I hope you found this informative. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune into the next episode. Now I'm gonna get back to playing Ni no Kuni because that game is fucking awesome. And you guys should go out and buy it too because it's amazing as fuck. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you then.